Hi, hello, it is I. I wanted to make a video on the tariff situation and how that's going to affect print-on-demand businesses going forward. I know this is kind of a question a lot of people have had recently, so I just wanted to go over some updates from some of the most popular print-on-demand providers and some emails that were recently sent addressing the tariffs that Trump has imposed on Canada and Mexico. I just want to kind of open up the discussion down below, so feel free to comment on this video because I know it's going around as far as the print-on-demand industry and how this affects us. So first and foremost, when it comes to some of the major print-on-demand providers, I will insert a image of what Printify has said, which is that they are not adjusting their prices or anything at this time. First and foremost, just know that a lot of major print-on-demand providers are not adjusting their pricing at this time, at this current state. That could change in the future. I just want to say that. But right now, they are not adjusting their prices due to this new news we're seeing with the print-on-demand space, which is good. That's a good thing, right? Going forward, we might see perhaps that tariff affecting us or slow increases of production prices, or maybe we might see that in taxes as far as if we're shipping to a different country. That could be a potential. I don't want to say it's not. One thing to note, and one thing that I would maybe recommend to sellers who are selling in different countries, or maybe that you are in one country, is if you're using Printify, using Printify Choice might be a better thing to use going in the future with these tariffs that we're seeing. One reason why I recommend Printify Choice, or maybe even a print provider or print-on-demand company like Printful that chooses the warehouse based on your customer's location, is because your taxes, if there's a sales tax involved, that you may be taxed because you don't reside in the country that your customer lives in. And then also production fees may be lower going forward as far as all the fees stacked up if you are doing a provider that offers that geolocation service. So what is geolocation service? Geolocation services is where a print-on-demand company, they will select a warehouse and a print provider based on where your customer lives. So an example is if I have a customer that lives in Canada, they ordered from my shop, what Printify Choice does is it typically will select a print provider in that country. So an example is Duplium. So it may select Duplium and route your order to Duplium, which again, that's going to save on the shipping cost for not only you if you are offering free shipping, but also to your customer. Again, with maybe the taxation and potential tariff differences that we may see in the future, that may kind of compensate or reduce your amount of taxes or anything that could be affected from these shifts we're seeing with tariffs. And possibly that might impact us in a way or our customers. And to reduce that impact on our customers and us as sellers, that might be a good idea in the future for some of you who might be currently manually selecting your providers. Now, what am I doing in the midst of all this? I am doing nothing differently right now. I have been still running my shop the same as far as having my orders go through Swift POD. That's always been my top choice for print-on-demand providers. If you know me, I've been selling on print-on-demand in my Etsy shop for the past 5 years. I'm still using Swift POD. I'm currently also using WOYC and District Photo for some of my other products. So when it comes to my print-on-demand providers, I'm not changing anything. But if you are a apparel-based business and maybe you have a lot of customers that are based in Canada, or you find they're from the EU because you live in the EU, then maybe also opting for something like Printify Choice or Printful that have those geolocation services and they have multiple print providers and warehouses in multiple countries could be a better route to take in the future with these tariffs and what we're seeing currently. I personally would not recommend changing anything right now. Again, nothing to panic about right now, but just other options that you have as a print-on-demand business owner. Also, I want to note, if you are a print-on-demand business owner, if you haven't already, do look into your Printify account in the sales tax exemption area or the resale exemption area. That area is so vital to anyone who's selling with print on demand, because if you are currently being taxed in your country for any orders that you get, so an example is I live in the United States and I can apply for a resale exemption certificate. So when I get an order coming through, if I didn't have this resale certificate, then Printify would charge me tax. Etsy will also charge your customer tax. And basically, you are not a reseller if you don't have this resale certificate, which means that you are not exempt from taxes in your country and maybe in your state. In the United States, you can apply for a resale tax certificate that basically exempts you from getting charged by your print-on-demand company. So if you haven't already done this, highly recommend looking over the steps to apply for this. In the United States, I can only speak for my country and even my state. I'm not a legal tax professional, by the way. I have to disclaim that in this portion of the video, but in where I live in the US, what I had to do to apply for this is I had to register my business with my state. This is just going to, in most states, going to your county clerk's office or even filing this online as business registration, as far as a assumed business name document that, again, you can get through usually your county clerk or search it up online and how to register your business in your county and in your state. And this is not the same as filing for an LLC. This is completely different. This is just business registration. Now, when you do this, this means you also have to register for paying taxes and sales tax every month or every quarter, dependent on what your state's rules are. Some states it's quarterly, some states it's monthly. I would say most states it's monthly. I've been to 3 states now that I've had to register. So again, please do seek some tax and legal advice as well in the same breath of me recommending all this. But with sales tax, if you are not collecting, so if you sell on Etsy, a lot of the times you aren't collecting unless you're selling in person and you're collecting physical sales tax from people. That's the only time when you have to remit through your state. But if you're selling on Etsy, Etsy collects and remits on your behalf. So just an example, I cannot tell anyone what to do with their taxes. I can only give my own what I do, which is I file for my Etsy business by itself 0 on my monthly sales tax because Etsy collects and remits for me. That's the plus of selling on Etsy and other platforms. Not every platform does that, but Etsy does. Again, look into how to get that resale exempt certificate. I think that's more important than ever right now to make sure you have that at least for your country. Besides that, again, I want to open up the discussion about tariffs and anything that anyone wants to share related to their country. I know I can only speak for my country and kind of what I'm seeing with Printify and Printful and big print-on-demand companies. Some print-on-demand companies will or might already be affected by these tariffs and maybe what they need to change in their production prices due to the tariffs. Other companies are not currently doing anything, so I am going to provide a link to some articles about this for different print-on-demand companies down below. I'm also going to link the video where I show more about how to apply for the sales tax exemption in above here, so everyone can have that. Printify has a really simple portal that walks you through the steps. So if you don't know how to do this, go through the steps with Printify or even Printful. They both have resources on this available on their sites and articles to help you. So outside of that, I hope this video helps. Don't forget to like this video, to share it to more people. I will see you all in the next video here.